Is it too late to start Arknights? Is now a good time? I hear this question asked a lot, particularly in the help threads for new players that I frequent on forums, including the question sometimes from a new player asking whether they should participate in an event, whether an event is designed for them. Absolutely, you should participate in those events. So I created a new account to do an Undertides challenge experiment of sorts to see how much benefit an event can make on a new account. I played this account like a proper account intended to be played long term. So for instance, I didn't burn all the Originite Prime for the sake of padding progress in the end. I used about 5 to 7 to restore sanity. Now the event was generous with sanity restoration potions, but even without them, it would have been just a few more Originite. I started the account a couple of hours from the end of the second day of the event. I didn't have the idea to do this until then. Really, I should have started at the beginning. There's links in the description if you want to watch the full playthrough, but here is a summary. In the end, I got to the account to level 40, which was one of my goals. I also built up the base to level 4, and it's not far off level 5 as well. Just needs a few more facility upgrades and then I can get it to level 5. Building up the base is absolutely one of the first things that you should focus on as a new player because of all the passive and constant rewards it gives you, plus you're clearing out the pinboard missions, which are giving you even more rewards. And for the main story, I got up to chapter 5.5, which is a decent ways in. However, a lot of the focus on this account was doing the event. The progress in the story was mainly for clearing out pinboard missions and for upgrading the base, because you get a whole bunch of rewards along the way. And before I get into the event, let's take a look at the team that I used. So the account started with Exusiai and Kaltsit as the 2 6 stars. I had the option of Silverash and Skadi the Corrupting Heart, which is a better account because it has the limited operator, but I just like using these 2 operators more, so I went with them instead. I didn't start with Elysium. He joined about halfway through, and Estelle as well. She joined a little bit later. And even Myrtle. Myrtle took about a week for me to get her, and I did everything I could to get her as fast as possible, and she just wouldn't arrive until a lucky recruitment of Vanguard plus healing tags. Apart from these 2, there was a couple of flex picks with Skyfire for an AoE caster, and Meteor for that second sniper for those stages where you need snipers facing in 2 directions. And in this team, I actually managed to E2 Exusiai and Myrtle by the end of the event. My goal was to get at least 1 E2, so I managed 2, which was fantastic. A lot of this is owed to the generosity of the event, mainly in terms of the LMD required to promote them. Now, in terms of the event itself, I cleared out the event store, which is what I would recommend all new players should do. Veteran players will obviously know to do this, but new players should absolutely do this. Even if you're not that great at the game and you can only farm the first few stages, it is absolutely worth clearing out because the rewards are fantastic. It's such good value. Now, not every event is as good as something like Undertides, though there is one such event every few months. Don't wait for such an event to start playing though. I completed all Undertides normal stages around a week in, followed by the EX stages soon after, and on the final day, I tackled the challenge stages, clearing all but 2 of them. EX5 challenge would have taken too long to figure out with the limited time I had left, and EX9 challenge was likely mathematically impossible with what I had available. Keep in mind that most of my team was half the recommended level for the stage. Though if I had started from the beginning of the event and taken full advantage of the friends list with access to some level 90 M3 units, I'm confident I could have cleared it. All of this was done in a little over 12 days after creating the account. Yes, it is unrealistic for a new player to have cleared the challenge stages and perhaps some of the EX stages as well, but the rewards from them are minor. It was just an extra personal challenge. It's really all about clearing that event store, which is what new players should focus on. Another thing I didn't fill out is the friends list. I only had 1 friend, which is one of my actual accounts, mainly to clear that pinboard mission where you have to visit a friend's base. And for some of the later, harder stages, I had to borrow an M1 level 30 Blaze or a M3 level 40 Silverash. And I rarely borrowed the support units. I only borrowed when it was absolutely necessary. This was just to add a little extra challenge. I don't recommend players do this. You should fill out the friends list for nothing else if not the increase in daily store credit and clue trading in the base. If you want to accelerate progress, get a friends list with good support units to help you when stuck. Of course, this will make some parts too easy. Returning to my roster, I want to show you something insane. I was pulling on the event banner and then the starter banner to build out my roster, see what I had to work with. I was mostly looking for 4 stars and duplicates to my core team. I wanted to pull until another 6-star on the limited banner. Kaltsit was the very first pull, so all the free pulls that followed were building up to another 6-star. I got unlucky with the pity and had to add about another 20 pulls worth of Originite, which is why the Originite number, to veteran players, the Originite number might look a little low. It was because I had to put that little extra in addition to all of my random. It took 70 pulls for another 6-star to show, and well, it was Skadi, the limited operator. I didn't end up using her, despite having her to E1 over here. That was a waste of resources, because I really should have done this sooner and allocated resources better. I ended up wasting a little bit in the short term. Of course, in the long term, you absolutely want to max her out. Then, with the limited banner cleared, because there's nothing else for me to get, I went to the starter banner because it's quite cheap, and I got Silverash on top of the starter X here. And then, as if that wasn't enough, after I turned off the camera 30 minutes before the end of the event to go edit a video, Recruitment gifted me with the top operator tag. And Ifrit showed up. Absolute insane luck. Just insane luck. I won't even be playing this account again since I'll start a new account for another challenge in the summer anniversary event. I think it drained luck out of the Arknights community. Such luck is unrealistic, so let's suppose I didn't get Silverash and the top operator tag, or clear the challenges. We're still looking at an incredible start thanks to the generosity of the event. And keep in mind, all of these event rewards went to veteran players as well. At least 80% of what I received in these 12 days went to everyone. Unlike most gacha games that pump you with freebies when you start, then milk your man tits after a month, Arknights constantly gives away free stuff. Remember those Genshin Impact players complaining about their anniversary rewards? They still keep giving money despite this, but that's another conversation. The smallest Arknights event gives more rewards than a Genshin anniversary. An event like Undertides with its limited banner and massive rewards is the best time to start, but it's not worth waiting for. I wouldn't delay starting more than a week or so if you want to re-roll for an event banner. There are always good banners to start on. The starter banner alone has 2 of the best characters in the game with Exusiai and Silverash. I have a re-roll guide in the description if you need one. Ultimately, is it too late to start Arknights? This is an understandable question because many, if not almost all, gacha games give this feeling that you will forever be playing catch-up unless you start in the first few months or are willing to Leviathan. Hell, even with money, you can't catch up in some gacha because of the time gating in some progression systems. So, is it too late? No. For one, you can beat just about everything in the game with a squad of low star units. In fact, it's a fantastic challenge to do. Second, there is no gacha game more generous. And most importantly, the gameplay itself is genuinely great. Let me put it another way. I hate gacha games, and yet I play Arknights.